Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. Has everyone had an opportunity to look at the minutes from the previous meeting? If they have, do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I would make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. Does everyone in favor say aye? Aye. Okay. Freeland, would you like to give us the treasurer's report?
Yeah, a short report. We're required, as a member of the Communities Foundation, to take a distribution, like 5% of the value of that money that we have deposited with the Communities Foundation is available to be taken as a distribution. So, as you will see on the report as I pass it around, we took that $1,867 distribution money, and I put it in an account that's called the Prison Chapel Care Fund, and it's available at the bank, and I can write checks, or we can write checks on that. That report shows as a negative on the typed report, but in the checkbook, of course, it comes back. So the amount that's available, that's in the Prison Chapel Care Fund with Communities Foundation, is now $37,687.88. So that would be that account. We also have a little bit of money left in the old Prison Chapel Fund. That had to do with building the chapel. Monies that we raised for that, and that account is now down to $219.84. The Prison Chapel Care Fund checkbook balance is $1848.85. Does anyone have questions? I have copies if you'd like.
Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Thank you. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, this isn't on the agenda, but I'm going to ask Todd just to give a brief update on the offender that Wes.
The chairman of the committee.
Okay, thank you.
The gentleman that we've got now will be starting a job with the city. He's been doing some odd jobs. He's doing very well, attending meetings of AA, and currently just doing a very good job. We also, at our last meeting, met with a representative for Hope Outreach from Enid, and he was very excited to take the information we gave him. He's going to go back to his board. Hopefully, they'll be interested in possibly coming up here and starting a house. And I think that our committee decided that would be in our best interest, because we could then let an already developed system come in. We would just have to maybe find funds to maybe help get a house set up for them, and then they could run that. And we thought that would just be fantastic. None of us are really knowledgeable enough to say we know how to make that work or reinvent the wheel, as we keep saying. So they've got it figured out and have a good system, and we really liked it. Had a great presentation from them and had a long, really good discussion with them. So hopefully their board will come back and be interested in that. We'll work with them to help them out as best that we can, not just as a group but as a community. I think that it would really be beneficial. Other than that, that's about all we had from our meeting.
Thank you.
We're anticipating by the end of June, I think, to have a net growth of somewhere between 800 and 1,000. That, if you want to envision, we have 754 here, so that is an institution's worth of net gain of offenders that we will have by the end of the year that we don't have beds for. So one piece could be if we could turn over people more quickly and get them through the program more quickly. then we could, receive more. So it isn't certainly the end all and be all, but the department looks at lots of different areas where we can find ways to manage this increase in population. So we gained 3 case managers above the 8 that we already have. And those 3 case managers will be doing treatment groups. And then we also gained 2 Northwestern counselors. So with that 5 additional, we're thinking we're going to be up to somewhere between 250 and 300 in treatment at any given time. And now that's about almost 100 gain. So that should help us reduce the time. Right now we have a wait list to get into a treatment slot. They are waiting in the program. They're doing everything they're supposed to do, but I've only got so many group slots. So that will allow us to get them in quicker, and then hence get them on out, especially the balance suspended upon completions, because those are here only in the system as long as it takes them to do a program. Now we do have some straight timers that it won't affect their discharge. They'll just be moving on to another institution. But probably a third of our population are balance suspended upon completion. So those are the ones that we actually can impact how fast they get out. So those are some, and again, in light of all of the budget issues, we feel very fortunate that they shifted some of those resources to us so we could to do that. Officer hiring is increasing, but it's still so slow. We're still about 45 of 70 some officers. So our facility and Crabtree are still on 12-hour shifts. Weymouth Key has got their officer count up, and I think they've been able to convert this shift, I guess, back to 8s. So we're hoping to get our staff back to 8s, 12-hour days, especially when they're not 4 12-hour days. We're still working 5 and 6 12-hour days. So it's a lot, and it's a lot of fatigue that can accumulate over time. So we're working in that direction. We hope next year is a year that we'll keep creeping up enough to where we can convert back to 8. So that's kind of a good goal in sight that we're very optimistic about. So we are getting interest in people coming back. Some from the oil field, some are not. It is interesting, just the ebb and the flow of hiring in corrections. It is related to the economy, but it isn't just people that are leaving the oil field. It's other people that perhaps might have gone to the oil field, but now then are looking for these kinds of jobs again. So we're appreciative of that. So with that, I do want to leave time for Renee. Some of y'all remember, a few months back we started the GAP program. And we had lots of ideas that you guys presented to us about different things that we could use our offenders and hobby craft programs that gives them some meaningful activities that we could contribute back to the community. And we're still going to be doing some school projects. But Renee partnered with a group here, and she's going to tell you about the project that we did for Christmas. And you get to see some of the products of that program. So,
well, actually, I recall Ben Orcutt, the interview of him talking about his Kids and Cops. I had it mixed up the last time. The Kids and Cops program for Elva. And in reading that article, what I remembered is that they were trying to generate funds, and they had a goal to take 10 kids shopping, and they were hopeful to have $150 for each child. And I would love for you to come up and kind of share there's a little more sales pitch, come on. So I don't say it all crooked. Yes, I'm good at it. I'm very good at it. Well, we're going to get the word out there. We might as well get the right word out there. What do you think of that?
So far to date, we have over $11,000 that's been raised. We are surprised by that. Alva community has been great to us in this program. And what we've done with that is Kids and Cops, and we've never wanted it to be just Christmas. We've always wanted it to be more than that. And we do have our kids picked out. We do have our 10 kids picked out. Right now we've limited it to that because that's how many officers I have. We're hoping next year to maybe do it twice, but we'll just have to go with that in time. But also we've gone to all the schools and we've told them, if you've got kids that need coats, shoes, school supplies, anything like that, let us know. pretty much every school that we've gone to has told us that around the Christmas time, a lot of people do this. So, we've basically told them, if it's spring break, whatever, just come and talk to us. We have this money, and this is what it's for. It's all for the kids. We don't want anybody else profiting from this except for the kids within our community. So we have our T-shirts are supposed to be ready Thursday of this week to be passed out on Friday. Our Christmas event is going to be December the 14th, starting at 4 o'clock, and we're going to take the kids out to Walmart. They're going to get a $150 shopping spree, and they get to do that with a police officer. So we're hoping to make a difference in some kids' lives, have a positive influence in their life. And it's not just about shopping for Christmas. It's a relationship we'd like for the kids and the officers to have with the kids as they continue to grow through the school system. Go in and read to their class or whatever we can do to be a positive influence in those kids' lives. So,
Awesome. On November 19th, the offenders, some from Unit 4, GAP was originally designed to accommodate some activity for Unit 4. However, November 19th, we had everybody on board. And, from everywhere, working frantically, building Christmas trees and snowmen and Oklahoma signs and frames and bows and painting and sparkles, and it was nonstop. They took the first round of items that they made, and Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton at Elva Market were kind enough to help display the items so that they could generate the funds. They had limited bid amounts on each item, and honestly, I don't know what some of the higher bids were, but I do know it took me 2 loads to get this stuff there. By the time I got back with the second load, the first load was almost sold. Crazy. And I'm like, I don't have time to make more trees right now. Oh, goodness. So at any rate, this morning I stopped and they had 2 small items left, and I brought them back. Yesterday, we went another frantic round too, and you may have noticed coming through the hallway all the different things that they made, and the little bits and pieces of time that they do have to cut the items out and put them together, and then taking the time to decorate them. However, I'm a pretty good cook, can't stand to bake, but I'm not an artist. So you got to have somebody with a plan, somebody with an imagination and the idea and the ability to put it together. That would be Linda Voschel. Come here. Which happens to be my mother. The one that inspired the whole project. When I had more important things to do, she's like, well, Renee, do you got donations? And I'm like, no, but I'll ask tomorrow. So pretty soon she's gone through her entire supply of arts and crafts stuff, and she's got a tote full. She says, now when are we going to get this done? So the guys were very happy to work with her. They enjoyed working with her. She shared a lot of skills with them and actually helped keep them going to where we got to the end of the day. Everything was done. The guys enjoyed her so much that they wanted to give her something for appreciation, and that would be the little snowman that she picked out. So there you go. And you need to know that they've also already asked what other kind of stuff can you do. So.
Well, in my life I've done a lot of things, so I've given Renee a lot of more ideas for the pellets, because number one is most everything that's involved is right here. I suggested making planters with your pickle buckets or whatever they are from the kitchen, and build a little fence around them and set the bucket in for a planter. Now I've been, in my mind, I've been going to do that for a long time and just never have, but I think it'd be really neat. You could sand them, paint them, stain them, or
all over. You could have matching planters.
Yeah. But the thing about it is there's not very much cost involved.
No. It's all reuse of buckets. Yeah, pallets.
Yeah. And then another thing I thought about with those pallets too, you see everybody buying these boxes. Have you seen them at Walmart, like an orange crate? or a tube box, build those out of pallets. I could come up with a lot of ideas, but
Yeah. But so anyway, we have brains behind the projects now, and this Christmas round was wonderful. I didn't mention, but the Alva Market, they raised $500. And there's endless amounts of already sold stuff down the hall. So I'm thinking Gap did pretty good for the first time around.